that noticed that Bangladesh came up. Unfortunately, all their visas were denied. So Wales a late call up to the tournament, and big round of applause to the Welsh boys at late notice. So apologies if you have seen that Bangladesh are batting on the graphics. Oh, he's hit that. That's out the park. That'll be the first 6 of the tournament. Has he caught that?
Wow.
Unbelievable. We were a bit unsighted there. I'd like to see a replay of that. I thought it was going out the park there, Lee. And as it went behind the side screen, I think he took an unbelievable catch there. We'll need to see a replay of that.
Well, judging by the responses of his teammates, that must have been something really, really special. For every second after the ball left the bat there, that looked 6 runs the whole way.
Good thinking on his feet there. What a catch. Well done, Singapore.
It didn't take long to get one of the end of week highlight reels there. I think that'll make that'll have a good chance to catch the tournament. And you've got to feel for the Welsh batsmen.
So David Hughes out for a duck. Just faced the 2 balls. Probably needed to see a few more balls before he went for the big shot there, but it was in the slot. It's a short boundary, so you can't come too hard at him. Just not enough legs on that.
Just looking at who took that catch then, it was actually the captain, Manpreet Singh.
Gareth Williams off the mark there with a solid punch for 1, down to mid-off.
Must be fantastic as a captain in a foreign country to take a catch like that in the first over. That must really settle the nerves.
Settle the nerves and get the guys revved up for this match. I think they're pumped up to win it. Well bowled.
It's really good to see Singapore here. Obviously, they're using the option of having the 4 fielders on the offside to start with in that first over, but really good attacking intent. They had the catcher in there looking to get that second wicket straight away. Obviously, seeing wickets as an opportunity to stem the run flow early on here.
Yeah, it's good thinking by the captain, Manpreet Singh. In the first 4 overs, we've got the power play where you're allowed 4 fielders on the leg side or the off side, and the bowler's taking that to his advantage. First 4 overs of the match, and the last 2 are power play, where you can have the 4. For the rest of the overs, it's got to be 3 on each side. So all round good cricket by Manpreet Singh there. Neat running in, lucky to get away with that, but short and wide.
I know a lot of the bowlers are almost going to death plans early on, using those blue wide lines as a guide, almost happy to give away the odd wide to avoid getting into the arc of the batsman.
There we go. Umpire's penalised him there. He's pushing his luck. It's not a bad tactic, but because of the short straight boundaries, to pull it back a length, as you said early on. Big shot for LBW. Umpire's having none of it.
Looks like the keeper really fancied that. I'm suggesting that that's just going to be missing the leg stump there. Batsman's head just fell over in the shot there, but with the angle, just going to watch the replay now.
Looks like a good shot, maybe sliding down leg.
You can always tell when a batsman's on commentary though, straight away. I was like down the leg side.
He was falling over, and the bowler was a little bit wide of the crease there. So, but the replay suggests that I think it would have probably been either nicking leg stump or that. No reviews in this tournament though.
After the Football World Cup, I'm surprised we haven't got VAR kicking in. I'll tell you what, Singapore will be absolutely delighted with this start here. Wales have obviously stepped in pretty late, but a lot of these guys have got, you know, a lot of LMS experience, but they haven't found the boundary in these first couple of overs at the moment.
So that'll be the second wide of the over, and that's 4 runs there for the batsman. 3 for the wide and 1 for the run. So that takes Gareth Williams on to 7 off 6 balls. He'll be happy with that. That's the end of the over. It's 11 for 1 after 2 overs. 2 more overs of the power play.
So this game's really a start of a real festival of cricket here today. What other games have we got to look forward to?
A lot of cricket at this beautiful setting here in Chester at the Boughton Hall Cricket Club. We've got Australia versus Sri Lanka in the next match, followed by the UAE, New Zealand. Let's watch this ball. Little dab for 1-2 covers. Then the match of the day is going to be LMS Pakistan versus India at 1:30. And if anyone is in the area, I suggest you get down here because it is going to be a cracking atmosphere. I do know of about a few Indian expats that are coming down to support their team, so I do hope that Pakistan have been reaching out to their fans and friends to get down to the club.
That seemed like a really strong shout there.
I think that one could have been going down leg. Let's hopefully we can get a little look at the replay here. Umpire's explaining his decision there to Manbir.
He's definitely tailing it into the pads though, isn't he? He's attacking the stumps.
That one a bit wider.
I think what you'll find with the dimensions of this ground here at Chester Boughton Hall is that down towards, just to give a little bit of an explanation on the ground, it slopes away, very similar to Lords in the sense that it'll slope quite sharply down towards the score box and towards the canal here. Batsmen tend to push very hard down that end because it's a little bit further than you think. So coming out, you know, the ball's just gone out towards the score box there. I know a lot of guys that was hit very firmly that will be, you know, looking to, you know, push to. There's, you know, some of the touch players will have a field day down there, whereas it is slightly shorter on this side. So it'll be interesting to see how some of the teams, you know, adapt to the dimensions of this ground.
I think with the better teams facing when you get down to the knockouts, so he's gone, tipped that into the air on the leg side. That's going to be the difference to read the conditions and running hard between the wickets. Oh, that's overthrows. That's going to go for 5 overthrows there. Sloppy by the fielding side, Singapore.
Normally the bowler would be going absolutely furious about the overthrows, but when it's actually the bowler himself, that, you know, that it's very difficult to have a go at yourself at this point. But he strode off quite forcefully, left his hat with the umpire.
Yeah, you'll have a little quiet contemplation about that overthrow there. That's not going to do his figures any good. Score is now 20, just the 1 wicket after 3 overs. His continuity rate is just over 6, so without that overthrow, he had a really good 2 overs there. That's unfortunate for him. That taken, that's out, that's another wicket. Great catch by the wicket-keeper.
Yeah, I was going to come down the scaffold and attempt to, like...
He really did well there. It just died on him, didn't it? And he got down well and pouched it with 2 hands. So, fantastic start for Singapore here.
I'm not on just now.
Any young wicket-keepers out there, that's great technique by the wicket-keeper. Kept his head down, his hands were low, didn't rise up there.
I was thinking
Well watched, 2 hands to the ball.
just a shade of a waist swing there from Vineet there, which obviously is very encouraging for the bowlers, you know, to see a little bit of sideways movement there, but you know, the batsman won't be happy with that. I think he's played away from his body, and 2 down for Wales.
Really good start this by Singapore, one of the new LMS nations on board. They started at the beginning of 2017, so comparatively inexperienced team compared to some of the other sides like Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, England.
I can see it moves a lot when I move, so it would help.
Chris Geary into bat.
Chris Geary plays at quite a local club up here in North Wales at Minadissa, so I know he'll be excited. Hopefully some of it is... oh, wow. Well, he's off the mark with a boundary, but I think the bowler will be happier with that than the batsman will be.
That's a well judged shot there. It's 4 runs in the scorebook there, Lee. You'll be happy with that. That's off the mark. And I think next time he'll just get a bit more bat on it. But he was aiming to hit it down to 3rd man there, but it went a bit finer than he was hoping for.
Captain Manpreet Singh straight away has put the slip in there.
Really good shout, and he's given him. Wales in all sorts of trouble here. Looked like a good shout.
One thing I've noticed here with both bowlers, they've both bowled, you know, as much as they can at the stumps.
Yeah.
I think he just got his pad out in front of the bat there. I think it's probably a good decision there. Looked like he was hitting top of middle. Can't be too unhappy with that decision, the batsman. That's the end of Chris Geary, short and sweet. 4 of 2 balls there. Wales now 3 wickets down.
It all helps.
So based on the LMS world batting averages, this is Wales' top batsman coming in now. Am I right in saying 78 in the world, averaging 82, Tom Williams?
Experienced player, plays for the... He's not at the Swansea Fine Legs. I thought he was one of the stalwarts for the Swansea Fine Legs, but...
I think just looking down there, it's Regency Park.
So he's a London boy. He's living down in London. He's come up for the tournament, driven up all the way. So hopefully he's going to make most of it here. Good shot to get off the mark there. He needs to just steady the ship here. Take Wales to over 100, to something for the bowlers to bowl at.
Straight away though, there from Tom, you know, a bit of intent there, you know, with the running, hit it, you know, firmly into the outfield, and straight away was looking to try and turn that into a 2. So I think they're going to have to consolidate for a few overs here. But the mood that Singapore bowlers are in, they seem to be attacking the pads and the stumps. But they must smell blood here surely, and think that if they can get maybe 1 or 2 more wickets, that they can really restrict this Welsh team.
Definitely they're in the driving seat, and I think all the money's on Singapore at this stage. The inexperience of Wales is starting to show through. They just need to get their heads around the wicket share and just knock the ball around, get something on the scoreboard here, get a partnership going, and see where it goes to. I mean, games of last man stands can change very quickly with one good knock from a batsman.
Are you surprised that the captain's kept Manbir going? I know he's bowled extremely well so far, but this will be his 3rd over. Do you think they sense that this is the time to see if they maybe get 1 or 2 more wickets?
Definitely, I think got to keep bowling your best bowlers here and just take as many wickets as you can. They're 3 down now, and they'll be looking to put the nails in the coffin of Wales here early on. They can restrict the score to under 100, then they'll be confident of chasing that down. Nice little flick down there to fine leg. That's 4 runs. Welcome boundary.
beautiful piece of timing there. He just rolled his wrists on it fabulously well and took it behind square. Meant that the fielder out there had absolutely no chance of tracking that down. Mambier will be frustrated by that because he really hasn't bowled anything down the leg side so far, and straight away he's been punished, so it just shows what fine margins there are in this format. And that'll settle Williams right down.
And just the two bowlers used so far for Singapore. The captain will be looking to make a change soon. But Mambier and Vineet have done a really good job for their skipper, each picking up a couple of wickets. Mambier just the one, and Vineet's got 2 wickets. Good call. That's good running from Wales.
Well, Mambier Singh here, back in Singapore, actually got a 7-wicket haul in one game. So I think he'd be looking to maybe add to his one today, see if he can put himself up near the top of the wickets charts at the end of this tournament.
This is good from Wales. I like this. Good positive running there. Bit more of this and build a platform for the batsman coming in. Tom Blackwell still at the crease there. He's on 10 off 8 balls. Wales now 35 for 3 after 5 overs.
Be interesting to see with they've had so much success so far with the 2 seamers, whether they continue with that plan, because obviously we're going to be looking for a change of bowling pretty shortly. We are carrying on with Vineet into his 3rd over here, but interesting to see whether whether they carry on with the seam with a little bit of value in the wicket, or whether they'll go to the slow bowling and use some of the spinners. I saw some of the bowling in the warm-up, and they certainly have got a couple of quite exciting spin bowlers there.
If I was a captain, I would hold my spinners back a bit. I think the seamers have done such a good job here. It is getting a little bit of shape. There's still something in the new ball there. That's well played, well bowled. Just the one. Good fielding there by Curti.
It must be so important in this format to get the right people in the right places. Curti looks like he's very quick over the ground there.
I think a good fielding side's going to win this tournament, so captain's got to get the guys in the right place. The bowler's got to bowl to their field, and Vineet's bowled a couple loose deliveries here and got away with a couple as well. Captain won't be happy with that, neither will he, but picked up the 2 wickets, but I think there's been a few wides as well. So Lee, tell us a little bit. You're from the area here. You play at the cricket club. What is the standard of the cricket league down here in Chester?
We play in the Cheshire County Premier League, which is one of the ECB Premier Leagues. So it's of in club cricket terms, it's of a very high standard. We're very lucky here at Chester. Obviously we're delighted to have the last man standing competition here this week, but we're very lucky with the facilities and the quality of the ground here. We regularly have the minor counties Cheshire team here, like Lancs seconds, and we're hoping to build on that and maybe get 1 or 2 higher quality games, maybe a first class game soon if we keep pushing hard enough. But the actual league itself, we played Nantwich yesterday, just to give you a bit of background, in a top of the table clash, which we got over the line 9 down.
Oh, fantastic.
I'll be honest with you, I was lying in bed last night. It was one of those we needed 9 to win, 9 down, and it took us 12 overs to get those 9 runs. So it was very, very nail-biting stuff, but to get, you know, such fine margins as well to get over the line. So that obviously puts us right in the thick of it for the, you know, to try and retain the title from last year. But the club itself has you know, got 5 senior teams, 2 ladies teams, and a lot of junior cricket as well. So, you know, the club's in good stead at the moment, and we've, you know, spent a little bit of money making sure that the facilities are right up, you know, in a, you know, in good stead. But I know a few of the lads managed to have a game against South Africa on Friday, and a bit of a warm-up game for them, and we really enjoyed it. And I think it's something that our club will be looking to maybe put, you know, more of an emphasis on last man stands in the coming years.
Oh, that's good to hear. I was actually chatting to some of the South African players last night, and they were really impressed with the facilities here, and they thoroughly enjoyed the game against the club, and they just were really impressed with the facilities here. It really is a fantastic club.
It's always, I always think it's interesting when players come and play from other parts of the world, you know, and you know how they take obviously your settings. And I know from when I was over playing in Australia and Tasmania, when a few of the lads that played in that team, we got them over as overseas players here, how all of a sudden they, you know, they were taken aback by the, you know, the practice facilities and you know how different the wickets are when you go around the world. I know for a fact I wouldn't be running to go and play in South Africa, because I've heard there's a bit of steeple and bounce around there.
Yeah, no, I mean it's a little bit slower here, and that you've got to just hold your shot a bit. But I think that's going to be part of the fun, isn't it? Of playing in different conditions and testing yourself against the best in the world. And we've got the best players from around the world coming down to this tournament from Last Man Stands. There's over 100,000 players around the world, and each country's picked their 12 best players. So what a fantastic opportunity in a great part of the world. So everyone's very fortunate to be here.
I just think it's a fantastic concept that, you know, giving people the opportunity to represent the country, and like you said, in some way, you know, these sort of memories stay with you for a lifetime. And you know, and you've got you know, the opportunity to come and play in England for some of these guys. And you know, obviously as this concept gets bigger and moves around, you know, I certainly think it'll be very interesting to see some of the settings that come up in future years. But certainly from a club's perspective, we're absolutely delighted to have this competition here. And you know, we could just see from last night where, you know, at the opening ceremony, you know, seeing all the different blazers and the players from, you know, and you know, for some of our youngsters from our club as well, we're seeing the benefit as well. Some of the marquee players were down last night, and you know, mixing in with some of our young players, I thought it was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it's a real honour to have Nick Compton with us today, and Marcus North will be playing in clashes later today, and we've got Chandapal who'll be up against the South African team. So I know the South African guys have all been looking forward to try and take his wicket. I think I've got a little wager on to see who can knock him over, but won't be an easy feat. So yeah.
It's fair to say, out of all the batsmen in the world, I'm not sure I'd fancy trying to get the wall out Shiv Chandlerpool.
No, exactly. And it'll be interesting to see how he takes on to Last Man Stands format. It is 2020 cricket, but it is a game where you can, you know, there's only 3 fielders on either side outside of the power play, so there are gaps in the field. You don't have to be a big basher of the ball. You can build an innings. It looks like we've got a change of bowler here. Ashworth coming on. A little bit of off spin.
Just looking at some of the projected scores here at the moment, you know, if we carry on like this, 151 is the projected score. Do you think that'll be enough, Bjorn?
I think Wales will be very happy with the 151 after those 3 early wickets. But I think par score here should be 160, 170. Obviously, we'll see how the day goes, but it looks like a really good batting track. Lee?
There's nothing off the surface so far that suggests to me that, you know, as a batsman you wouldn't feel comfortable hitting through the line of the ball. But you know, I've been super impressed with this partnership of Blackwell and Williams. I think they've obviously sensed the fact that Wales were in a bit of trouble. They've batted extremely sensibly here, using, you know, knocking it around singles and twos. I'm quite surprised we haven't seen more boundaries, knowing the ground, but maybe that's something for later in the tournament, that, you know, teams will adapt and be able to find the boundary option.
I think it's been a tactic of Singapore to bowl a little bit wider, which has worked. Obviously the straight boundaries where the batsman will be looking to hit, but we've got a wide mid-on and mid-off. And the bowler's just pushing it a bit wide. Here again. Down to the covers for just one. I think the skipper's got his field setting just right for this match. And that's created a bit of pressure. That's when the wickets have come. Down the wicket, that could be a boundary.
It's the captain again down there. His fielding so far has been absolutely outstanding. You know, his movement across the ground. You know, not only is he marshalling his troops well at the moment, but, you know, he seems to be doing the job himself. It's always good to lead by example. That over from Ashworth there. Noticed that he bowled with a couple of different variations there. Not only bowling a few off spinners, but, you know, that last ball there was a leg spinner. I know it was over pitch, but
it's good to see him trying things early on, and I'm sure he's going to be a handful for the batsmen this tournament. Keep an eye on him. It's like Curti coming on to bowl here. Angling into the batsman's pads there. Just the one.
Curti there looks like he's got quite, you know, one of those run-ups where you think, oh, this guy's going to be medium pace. He looks a little bit quicker through the air than you expect there. He seemed to rush Blackwell, so I'd be interested to see if he can, you know, generate a little bit of movement off the pitch as well.
Skiddy bowler, that's a bit full. Well fielded again. He's bowling a very straight line here. I think he's got a strange action for the batsman to pick up. He runs in and it's not quite as quick, but it's skiddy.
Well, it's obviously a tactic from Curti to come a bit straighter. Fine legs come round a lot finer than we've had it earlier in the game there. So that suggests to me that obviously he's trying to angle in towards the stumps. Third man's come finer as well. So no real room to come wide of the stumps. There he is again. He seems to be implementing this plan really well.
Just welcome to all our viewers as well around the world. We've got Richard Morris, Subhash Kamesh, all the best for Singapore. We've got Geetha Shankar, Nikit Patel. Send us your comments. What do you think is going to be a good total for Wales here?
Even with this early start this morning, you know, for our viewers around the world, it's 9:15 local time here. The pick-up and the movement in the field's been outstanding from Singapore. Not that I was expecting for 1 second them not to come out the box firing, but, you know, they've been very, very good in the field. They've not given Wales any leeway at all.
No, you can't fault them at all. In the field, they've been outstanding. Really good ball that. Good line.
I think the beauty for the bowler here is that obviously he knows that Wales are in a little bit of a stick or twist position now, with, you know, almost half the overs gone. I think that realistically Wales are going to have to look at going you know, near 10 and over now to make that 150, 160. So he's just holding the ball back just a fraction, taking a little bit of pace off the ball. Maybe sets an opportunity for, you know, a stumping or even a miscued shot into the deep. Whereas normally when batters are flying in those middle overs, they tend to go a little bit flatter, the spinners.
Yeah, I've been impressed so far with Atheris. He hasn't been afraid to toss it up. He's been hit for a boundary there, but he's bowling good lines, and he's going for wickets, and I think he's going to be a bowler to watch out in this tournament. The spinners could play a real part in this tournament, especially as the tournament goes on. They're going to start getting a lot more turn than they're going to get from this first game. It's a pretty hard deck to get turn on for the first up this morning.
I'd just like to see him, if he could, maybe pull his length back just a fraction. I appreciate he doesn't want the batsman getting under the ball, and we spoke about maybe getting hit square of the wicket rather than down the ground, which he seems to be doing regularly. But I just think he needs to give the ball the opportunity to purchase on the wicket, and at the moment he's just a fraction full.
Ashworth bowled 2 overs there for 15 runs. No wickets so far. The score is now 72 for 3 after 10, and they'll be changing ends. Tom Blackwell at the crease, still not out, 34 of 26. Not a very pretty scorecard for the batting team Wales there, but Tom Williams come in and done a great job at steadying the ship with Blackwell.
The captain looks like he's decided now we're into the second half of this innings that he's the man to come and take this game forward here. Obviously he took if you were watching early on, he took an absolutely outstanding catch on this long off boundary down here, so he should be full of confidence. He's bowling down from the Ron Fleet end.
That's a lovely shot there. I'm surprised he hasn't given Harkeet Singh another over. Just bowled the 1 over for the 3 runs there. Manpreet started there, straying down the leg side, gone for boundary first ball. He'll be under pressure now to justify this decision of his to bowl himself. I'm sure he'll come back strong here.
Well, we spoke about it before, about the fact that obviously Singapore have used a lot of their frontline bowlers overs very early on to try and get that 4th and 5th wicket. So now they're going to have to go to the change bowlers now before the death.
Nicely played, just the 1 run.
So Blackwell here straight away has shown that he wants to get down and sweep the spinner. As a captain, would you be looking to adjust the field here and give a bit more protection behind square on the leg side, or?
It's a tricky one. You actually don't want to be bowling too straight when you're spinning here. He needs to pitch it outside the off stump here and cut that shot out. I'd like, because otherwise you only have the 3 fielders on the leg side, so you're opening yourself up to, in a tricky situation there. The batsman can really has a lot of gaps here. I'd like to see him bowl outside off stump. That's the line to bowl. Bring your fine leg up to deep square leg, and then you can cut off some of the angles for the batsman. But if you, as soon as you stray two straights on the pads, then it's tricky to set a field. I don't know what sort of field I'd set for that line of bowling.
That's an incredible shot there. He's just opened his body beautifully through the offside. Williams.
Stephen, have you had an issue with
one bounce 4
where
deep extra cover would have been. Give the fielder absolutely no chance, and went sailing into the pavilion there.
It's not right or something.
And Lee, I've just noticed a change in the momentum from the batsmen here, and quietly Tom Blackwell and Tom Williams have picked up the Wales batting scorecard, and Tom Williams has now got a strike rate of over 150. That's the first time we've seen that from any of the batsmen in this match. And Tom Blackwell's got a strike rate of 137, where, I mean, he was going at a run a ball early on. So that's really good batting from the two batsmen at the crease now.
Well, I think the captain from Singapore has automatically reacted to that, and Kirky bowled a very decent over down from this end, the City end, so he's automatically gone back to seam bowling here.
Well bowled, squeezed that one out.
Should be 2 here.
Yeah, good running.
There's nothing worse as a bowler. He's bowled it, you know, in that Yorker box you talk about on TV, you know, where it's, you know, right in the block hole, and he's executed his plan beautifully there, and it's just been squirted away into the leg side, and he's managed to get 2.
Oh, he's got the little scoop out there. I think that's worse for a bowler, seeing that. Nothing you can do about that shot. Really well executed. He tried one earlier in the innings, and he's got his iron now and executed that to perfection.
If some of the batters in this tournament have got those 360 options, they could be extremely dangerous, because I just don't know how you set a field to that.
Very frustrating for the bowler and the captain.
That's outstanding from Williams there, the non-striker. He pushed very, very hard down into the far corner of the ground there, put pressure on the fielder, small fumble, and comes back for the second, and gives Blackwell an excellent chance to maybe go to his half century here.
On 48 of 32. Going to go for a big shot. Going to be pushing hard again. Well fielded. Easy 2 in the end. That's his 50. Well batted, Tom. That's 50 off 33 balls. 4 fours, 1 6, strike rate of 150. It's a really decent knock from Tom. He's done his country and his team proud there. He's walking off there after your 50. You retire but can come back at the end. Part of the last man stands rules. Lee, don't have that in the local leagues down here in Chester.
No, and I'm delighted that we don't, because obviously if you're a batter, you want to keep batting as long as you can, and I'm sure Tom will be delighted with his morning's work so far, and would have loved to carry on batting, but this obviously gives an opportunity to someone else. You get a very warm applause coming back to the pavilion. Must be a few Welshmen in.
Darren Leach coming into bat for Wales here, a fairly inexperienced batsman.
An ex-player here of Chester Boughton Hall. He had 2 very successful seasons here, Darren, before returning to Connors Quay.
Correct that. Inexperienced LMS batsman. But yeah, I think he's going to enjoy himself out here. He's got a much easier task now. The score's now 93, so he's just got to enjoy himself.
He won't die wondering, Darren. He's certainly an aggressive player, someone who likes to come at the bowling.
Looks like a big lad. He can hit the ball fair distance.
Yeah, sturdy. But you know, look, I think it's important now that he comes out and supports Williams as the new batsman, rotates the strike, doesn't create any pressure onto Williams, as, like you said, you know, striking at 150.
He's got a few overs to get his eye in and see Tom to his 50, and then he can really have a crack, and if he comes off, Wales will have a decent target to defend.
Having Blackwell retired, though, does just give you that little buffer at the bottom, though, doesn't it? The fact that you know that there's somewhat, it's basically another batsman to come back in, a quality batsman, and probably just gives Wales a little bit more opportunity to open their arms towards the end of the innings.
100%, especially after that, those first 3 early wickets. He's tossed that up. Tom Williams thought about going for the big one, but played it very cautiously in the end. New bowler is Shridhar in. Manny. Let's see if he tosses it up again. I think Tom might go for a big one here if he does. Nope. Very patiently played.
Realistically here, you'd like to see the captain of Singapore with Srimani bowling with a real lack of pace here to get the field well in front of square, because it's going to be tough for the batsman to get it behind square with so little pace on the ball.
I think the skipper's got the field pretty square and straight. Let's see if he's got a quicker ball here. No, tosses it up again. Darren says I'll have some of that. And he's got himself a wicket. Silly shot there.
Yes, I might have to move
fell
that
into the
camera.
trap there, Lee.
We all have over the years, but you know, I think early on there there was definitely ones and twos out there. You know, speaking about batting with his partner, and obviously he saw the ball come above his eyes from the spin bowler, and like you said, the captain set the field perfectly, and he fell into that trap. And where the momentum was shifting towards Wales, all of a sudden, you know, we've had a retirement and a quick wicket, and it looks like we're going to have a little rebuild again for Williams.
Darren, at least not getting off the mark there. Definitely unnecessary at this stage. Just needed to get his eye in a bit more. Knock a ball around ones and twos, as you say. Score now is 98 for 4. Gareth Evans coming into bat. He's the player from Swansea Fine Legs.
He's been playing since 2008, so a bit of a veteran of the LMS game. He should be looking for 2 here. Fantastic work from the bowler there, because really the batters should be turning that into a second run. There was no real opportunity of a run out. There was no one who came into the stumps at the bowler's end, but obviously first ball he's got off the mark, and he's managed to harbour the strike for the next over.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure on the fielding side. They should be really running hard, especially when you've got a few wickets down. You want to get every run you can.
I do think this is very clever from the Singapore captain, because what he had a little bit of a problem getting his spinners into the game, where Wales had really good momentum. He's obviously seen the retirement and the loss of the wicket, and now he's gone back to some of his slow bowlers, trying to sneak a few overs in now, leaving some of his seam bowling options. Kirky, I think we've got one more for Neat as well for those final overs of the innings.
Just the one got away with that full toss there. Ashworth. Should be 4.
It's nice to see the batsman trying to use the feet there, trying to get to the pitch of the ball, not giving the ball a chance to spin. He's hit through the line beautifully there. The outfield here this morning, I think the dew's just coming off it now, and there is absolute full value for runs. So if you can get a good contact on it, the fielders don't have an awful lot of chance if you hit it hard, either side of them.
It's an immaculate outfield, so a lot of runs on offer here for the batsman.
Well, the groundsman here, Alex Kegg, is a veteran groundsman, and I know from seeing him out here every day, the outfield is something he really does keep an eye on, and throughout the week you won't notice any difference in the outfield and the pitches that have been laid and put down. You know, I'm hoping for some really high-scoring games.
Definitely, I think he's done an outstanding job, and hats off to him. I see he plays a bit of cricket himself.
Alex has been a talisman opening bowler here at Chester for a couple of decades now.
Still producing all these batting tracks. This could be a wicket. No, he's got hold of that one. That's out the park. 6 runs. Tom Williams on 42 of 23 balls now. Strike rate up to 180. Really good knock from Tom.
Just coming past us in the commentary position here. It's, you mentioned later on that the main game of the day was India-Pakistan. The Pakistan boys have been in the nets this morning there, getting ready for today's big game.
They look like a really decent outfit, and they've got, of course, Abdul Razak, their player coach for them. And what a cracking day of games we've got. India versus Pakistan, 1:30. It's going to be one of the matches of the tournament. He's tossed that up. There'll be another boundary. There's too much for the fielder in the end there. Takes Tom to 48.
Bjorn, you spoke about it before in LMS, how quickly one batsman can make such a difference to the total. And all of a sudden, you know, we look up the scoreboard and, you know, 120, and there's, you know, still over 5 overs to go here. All of a sudden, you know, we're talking about Wales being happy with 150. I think, you know, if, you know, with potentially 2 people retired, they could be, you know, looking at maybe even 160, 170.
I think that 160 will be their target. They don't lose too many wickets now, and obviously Gareth Williams going to have to. Tom Williams will retire, so the batsmen coming in now really do have license to throw caution to the wind and attack that straight boundary. Use their feet against the spinners and try and get a bit of pace on the ball. But there's no point in dying wondering here. They've got 2 batsmen retired. They can really have a crack at the spinners.
So Bjorn, just to give us a bit of an insight, you're on 49 in LMS. Is it all about getting that single, or is it about, you know, the opportunity maybe to try and hit a 6 and maximise the amount of runs you get in that first innings? Or
depends who you talk to. I think it's like any cricketer. For me, I'll probably push it for a 1 and get myself in the hat. But I mean, like some guys like to finish in a flurry, like Herschel Gibbs will try and hit a 6. But I think it's just guys just got to play their natural game and watch the ball is the most important thing. Just like normal cricket, I guess.
Just seen there a very, very unlucky moment for the bowler there. A Chinese cut comes down towards us there and just gets past the fielder down at wide long leg for 4 more. It just shows that momentum shift though when it's going for you, and you know, the ball sailed across the outfield there. There was absolutely no chance.
Oh, he's bowled him. One back for the bowler there after the boundary could come back.
Just talking about that length, Bjorn, you know, if you watch on the replay there, I actually think there was just a fraction of grip there. He's just bowled into the wicket.
Let's have a look at the replay here. A little bit quicker, and yes, great ball there. Good purchase off the ground there. Sharp turn. Manpreet will be happy with that.
Yeah, that'll definitely be getting watched again after the game when he gets 5 minutes to himself.
He'll definitely be downloading the highlight reel and sharing that with his family.
That must be fantastic for the players on Facebook Live, you know, for the friends and family, you know, for the countries all around the world to be able to watch, you know, their friends and loved ones playing for the country, and being able to wake up at any time of the day and tune in.
Now, what an opportunity for the players to get out there and show their skills and know that there's going to be thousands of people watching them live on Facebook. And also to, it's not often you get to see, you know, what you're doing well and what you're doing wrong on a really professionally done video, and big thanks to QTV, who've done an outstanding job for us in the past, and looking forward to seeing some great footage in this week of cricket.
That wicket's brought the captain to the crease, Ian Martin. He plays at Harden Park. I know he also plays some over 40s cricket here for Chester as well. So he should be well used to the conditions here at Chester, and hopefully he can...
Oh, he starts with a little reverse sweep. Very cheeky. What a shot.
I don't think he could have played that any better. He's just like that, run off the face of the bat, nice and fine. The fielder down here is actually very fine, and you know, to time it as well as he did, it was inch perfect.
And just raced away. The outfield is lightning quick.
The thing with that straight away, though, obviously, if you don't execute it, you know, it doesn't look great if you get out doing that early on. But when you get it right, it just causes chaos for the opposition captain, because you know he's probably doesn't know a great deal about Ian. When he's come out to bat, he's probably took one look at him. He's a bit of a man mountain, expecting him to hit it, you know, probably
down the ground.
So, and all of a sudden he's got down on one knee and played a reverse paddle for 4. So that'll definitely put, you know, some doubt into the opposition captain.
That was a great touch, a delicate shot there. It doesn't look like a delicate batsman, but that was certainly a fine touch. AB de Villiers would have been happy with that.
Well, Kirky's got the opportunity here to upset Williams here. He's on 49.
Ah, it's a great shot. Split the field. What an innings.
I'll tell you what, there's not many better ways to get to 50 there as a batsman. He's just literally lent on that through backward a point.
That's a really good 50 for Tom Williams. 53 off 27 balls. 5 fours, 1 6, strike rate of 196. He'll be happy with that.
I do think some of the batsmen in the Wales top order that maybe didn't manage to get any runs in this innings, you know, and batsmen in future games can see here at Chester that, you know, especially to the seamers, there's so much value if you can just lean on the ball, get the ball behind square on the offside or on the leg side, just use the pace of it, because, you know, the ball will race away.
Yeah, I think the first 5-10 balls you face, you really just need to get some bat on it and run hard, put pressure on the fielders, and build yourself a little bit of an innings. And you don't need to be hitting the boundary straight off the cuff. The runs will come later on, as we've seen there from both of the Toms, Tom Williams and Tom Blackwell, back at the crease now. Cautious start, but they've really finished well.
What's amazing about this LMS format is I've just had a message from Robin Fisher, who's a legendary Cheshire left-arm spin bowler, and he's tuned in to watch his teammate Ian Martin bat. So, you know, it does bring the imagination in. You know, there's people watching for all sorts of different reasons, and he's down at, in Cornwall watching the Cheshire side at the moment, and he's actually tuned in to watch this game.
Yeah, fantastic, and welcome to all our viewers. And definitely please let everyone know that all the games will be screened live on Facebook. Got Trent Thompson, Sutha Siva, Paul Kearney, Jed McGann, Malik Hamid. Welcome, guys.
I know Paul Kearney is a bit of a long-term player of LMS. I'm sure he'll be down at some point in the week. He plays down at Minadissa.
Yeah, it'll be great to see the wonderful pavilion full, and I'm sure at the India-Pakistan game it's going to be hard to get a seat up there.
One of the beauties of this ground is, you know, where we're sat at the moment, we're looking across 2 games going on at the moment, and it's, you know, it's just great to see so much colour, and the pavilion really is filling up straight away here.
We've got a Masters tournament on the go for the older lads that play last man stands, and it looks like we have on the second oval Pakistan versus South Africa in the Masters tournament. You can follow all the live scores at lastmanstands.com/live scores. See detailed stats of the players and the match analysis. Oh, he's gone for another reverse sweep and he's been stamped.
That was very, very clever work from the wicket keeper there.
Just lost his balance there a bit.
He was hoping for lightning to strike twice there. He went for the reverse sweep. Just a slight overbalance.
Yeah, tidy work by Diraja.
Good morning, Wayne. Good, how are you?
You'll be happy with that. That'll take him to the top of the keeping rankings. The nice little stumping there, an extra 50 points for him.
Do the guys who play LMS follow the rankings closely, Bjorn?
They love the rankings. I think it's part of the lifeblood of Last Man Stands to see your stats and your rankings and really feel like a professional out there. And I know if the umpires get it slightly wrong, Monday morning they get an email asking for the scores to be corrected. So it's something that players take very seriously, and something that we're working on to make it better as each year goes on. We try and offer the players more and more in terms of stats and analysis on the website lastmanstands.com.
Okay, so just tell me now. So obviously we've got the two retired batsmen in now. Is that right?
So Tom Blackwell's back at the crease and Tom Williams have come back in, and they really have been the backbone of this innings.
So in this respect now, surely the frustration is for Wales is that, you know, they'd be looking to really kick on for these last 2-3 overs. They've probably almost got to, you know, consolidate for 5 or 6 balls here and maybe give themselves maybe 6 or 7 to have a dip at the end.
I think they've got to carry on playing as they've been playing. I mean, they've been playing good cricket. They don't need to do anything outrageous. They've been able to hit regular boundaries in their innings in their first batted, so they just got to carry on doing what they've been doing, and the boundaries will come. It's a lightning fast outfield. There has been the odd bad ball. That one's gone down leg again.
That must have clipped the pad on the way through, because otherwise the bowler's bamboozled the umpire there with a half appeal. Yeah,
must have got a bit of pad on that. He's lucky to get away with that one.
So going into these last 2 overs now, realistically, you know, what is 160 where they'd be aiming?
So on the last ball of the innings, if he hits it for a 6, it's a home run, which will count for 12. So if you add that on, that's 150. So
how often does that happen?
I think it's going to happen a lot in this tournament, especially with the straight boundaries. I think the bowler's got to, and the captain really need to have a strategy for it, because the batsmen are going to be targeting it.
Surely that's where, you know, you'd be looking maybe to hold one of the seamers back and maybe go into the wicket and try and get them to hit it square to some of these longer square boundaries. You'd be a very brave man to go block hole final ball with because if you're a fraction off, it just gives them the opportunity to go straight down the ground, you know, and even a miss hit could go for 6.
Dead right. I think back of a length, bit wide. And if I was a skipper, I'd be telling Vineet to warm up and doing just that. Lee, he's got a few options for the last final over, but I think we'll see Vineet come up to take it. It is the power play the last 2 overs, so he can set a 4 on the one side. That's a good catch. And that's the end of Tom Blackwell. The last man stands. Good to see it in the first game of the tournament. So when the 7th wicket falls, Lee, the last man gets to bat on his own, and he has to run 2s or hit boundaries.
Oh, it has been given up.
So it's quite interesting there to see that that Williams, when the ball was in the air, then actually stayed in his crease. Is that a tactic to ensure there isn't a double play?
I think he would have been concerned about the double play. I know some of the quicker guys actually like to touch down at the keeper's end and then cross back, because if you do that, then you get the steal and 2 runs for your batting team. But the safer option, which I like to do, is just hold your ground and not confuse yourself with the double play. But I think Wales team, some of them fairly inexperienced LMS players, decided caution was a better option there. But I think you'll see some of the South Africans go for the steal later today, and the Australians definitely will know that rule. They'll be going for the steal off the catches. Just safe there. Great throw.
Certainly tested the fitness of the batsmen, this, especially with the tactic that Williams is employing here, which is obviously to ensure that they bat the overs.
Williams will be happy there's only a few balls left. You can test your fitness. I have seen batsmen be last man stands with 10 overs to go, and last 5 overs they're not running too many 2s. They're going for the big shots. Lee, you've got a few games in the Masters.
Yeah, looking forward to getting out there and playing a few games in that this week. So it's certainly a format that I found very interesting, and something that I've enjoyed playing this week, and getting out there with some of the older boys, and I'm enjoying picking up some of your tips on commentary here, Bjorn.
Yeah, I'll come down and have a watch. You're a batsman, Lee?
Yeah, I'd like to think I'm a bowler, but those days are 5, 6, 7 years gone, I'm afraid. But no, I'll certainly be trying to...
Oh, it's a good catch. That's the end of the innings.
He'll be a little bit frustrated there, Williams, because he's shown in the previous few balls, you know, to be able to nudge it into the outfield and get his 2s, and I think Wales have certainly left 10, 15 runs out there.
I think you're right. Back to Tom. I think you're right. I think he got a bit tired there. It was a bit of a lazy shot. He didn't need to play it then. It's still 4 more to go. Should have kept it on the ground and waited for that last ball to go for the home run. 148. It's something to defend, nonetheless. They would have taken that after the first 3 wickets went down, but definitely this looks like a 170 par score.
Well, it's fair to say after that first over from Manpreet Singh, the captain, he certainly pulled it back brilliantly. He's ended up with 3 for 22. And obviously that, for the viewers who were tuned in from the very first ball, he took that unbelievable catch where he juggled it right on the boundary rope and flipped out of play and flipped back in. So, you know, what a fantastic start for the skipper.
Fantastic work by the skipper. He set his fields really well. He's obviously put a lot of thought into this tournament, and I was really impressed by Singapore in the outfield. Held on to their catches. They played as a unit, and I think they did really well to restrict Wales to just the 148. They'll get better as the tournament goes on as well. So yeah, well done to Singapore there.
How big is LMS in Singapore?
It's just recently launched in 2017, and they've got the 3 leagues there. So there's roughly about 24 teams that are playing consistently. It's a fairly difficult to get access to cricket fields in Singapore, and Kunal Kant, who's the franchise owner of Singapore, has done really well to get it off the ground there, and the guys thoroughly enjoy it. And they've got a good juniors going in Singapore as well, which is taking off, and they've just had a the juniors have a little tour to England before this tournament, and had great time playing in some of the London junior teams. So I really hope to see more junior last man stands cricket as the years go on. It's a great format for kids to play cricket. It really is all about participation. With the eight players, you really get to participate in it and are involved in the match. Get a chance to bowl, better chance to bat. With the guys retiring at 50. There's no hiding down at third man and not fielding and not bowling, not batting, which sees a lot of cricketers stopping play as they get to high school in South Africa. So really something that I'd like to see a bit more of. We're going to take a short break, the commentators, and top up on some coffee, and we'll see you back at the start of the second innings.
I don't know if you've got a jacket on you, but what I've done before once upon a time is I gaffer taped my jacket onto the handle of the camera.
Yeah, Ewan, as soon as I put my focus assist on this monitor, it starts being really jerky for some reason. Yeah, when I press the shutter button, it just goes to automatic shutter, but it doesn't affect the monitor, it just stays juttery. Right, one more time. nice.
Got the best for you.
Try turning the sensitivity of the focus assist down a bit. Yeah, because Blackmagic's a recorder as well, yeah, it might be something in there. ProRes 422 or something. Can you actually turn it to H.264? Just about. It's not the most solid of scaffolds, but we've gaffer taped it to.
Don't be dancing about then.
No, I'll try and keep my dancing shoes on.
Yeah.
Otherwise, weather's good.
Yeah. Not too hot, is it?
It doesn't seem to be yet.
Welcome back to our viewers. Start of the second innings. Singapore into bat. Lee joining me in the commentary box. Bjorn Briggs. And to open the batting, it's Vineet and Manbir Singh. Opening the bowling is Darren Leach.
Well, I think Darren will be desperate to rectify his effort with the bat. But as I mentioned previously, he's played at Chester for a couple of seasons, and he's gone to his favourite end there, and he's going to come steaming in.
Good start.
Straight away, Darren looks like he's just got a fraction more pace than we saw in the first innings. I don't know whether that's...
He's up for it. He's here to win the game, and that was a really good intention there. Good carry through to the keeper. Batsman, a bit slow on that one, but he won't mind that. A little bit of pace. He just needs to get a little bit bat on that down to third man. That's going to race away for 4. See the captain's just moved the third man a bit finer. Oh, he's called that one a wide.
Be interesting to see whether if Wales try and go with a similar tactic to Singapore and try and get some early wickets here. I really don't think 148 is going to be enough if they don't get early wickets.
We'll see what the Singapore batting lineup's all about today, because it really should be a total that they chase down fairly easily, but wickets always does funny things, so I think you're spot on there, Lee. Early wickets will build pressure and cause a bit of doubt in the change room.
Yeah.
I think both sides will be looking at this game as a game that they probably need to win to put themselves in a position to maybe qualify. And
there's an early wicket there that you're talking about, Lee. That's Vineet gone.
It's an awful lot to... Vineet obviously bowled, opened the bowling in the first innings, and he's come out to open the batting.
He got a little feather on that. He's walked off as well. Hasn't waited for the umpire. Good sportsmanship there.
He just opened the front leg out there. Looked like he was maybe trying to carve that away through back with a point there, and it looks like Darren Leach has just got a fraction of away movement there and caught the outside edge and taken comfortably by the keeper. But you know, that's put Singapore on the back foot, and
yeah,
it's opened the door for Wales, and they'll be happy with that. I played away from his body there, and bat and pad, as the coaches say, is the way to go, especially early on in your innings.
Will it take a little bit of time for the Singapore players to adapt to the wicket here? Did he play on grass in Singapore, or are they playing on matting?
They've got turf wickets, but I think most of their cricket will be on the matting, on the non-turf pitches. Aussie guys also, most of their tracks are non-turf, so I think a lot of the teams are going to have to adjust. Even South Africa's will always play. 90% of their games are on turf wickets, but it's different conditions, isn't it, Lee? Got to wait. The ball's a little bit slower than South Africa.
Well, I know from speaking to the South African lads that they definitely took the opportunity to play in that warm-up game to get the pace of the wicket and just adjust to the bounce and the carry. But I guess that's the beauty of having this tournament in England and in future years in different countries, because teams will be able to go and adapt and try and play in different conditions. And certainly for me, I wouldn't be running to play in South Africa as someone who prefers to be on the front foot. But certainly looks a great surface to bat on, and we saw that with Blackwell and Williams in the first innings. When you get in, there's plenty of runs to be had.
And how does the track hold up throughout the day? Is it going to be much the same towards the Pakistan-India game, or is it going to change slightly as the day goes on?
Well, today I don't think, maybe very much at the end of the day we may see a fraction more turn. Look, these wickets are used to having 3-4 day games on, and they hold up really well. As a batter, it's only on day 4 or day 5 where you'd be starting to maybe looking to counteract a little bit of variable bounce and spin. But I think some of these guys are going to have a fabulous time hitting through the line. And like we said, the dew's gone off the ground now, the sun's out, it's perfect conditions for cricket, and you're going to get full value for your runs.
Good shot. It's the first boundary. It's Tom Blackwell doing the job for the skipper again there. Just dropped that a bit short and set up nicely for the batsman.
Such a small margin of error though, because obviously we spoke about getting the ball into the wicket. I know we talk about maybe getting it into kind of the pocket, pocket high, but there he's just dropped it a fraction too short, gave the batsman an awful lot of time to be able to rock back and put his hands through the ball.
Got the left-handed into bat, which maybe put the batsman, the bowler, off his line a bit there. Makes it that much harder as a bowler early on in your spell. Left-hand, right-hand combination. Again, dropped it short there, lucky to get away with it again.
What do you think Singapore's approach will be here? Will they be looking to get ahead of the run rate, or will they look to, try and pace their innings and make sure they've got wickets in hand?
They've got to go at 7 and over to win the match, so I think they've got to hit it in the gaps, run hard, get a platform going without too many wickets down, and just take it from there, one over at a time. But they don't want to be falling behind the 7 and over, otherwise that total starts getting a bit ominous. So
a little bit of frustration from Blackwell there. I think realistically, I think he knew that he probably strayed far too close to middle and leg there with the 4-2 power play field on the offside, and he's very quickly removed his man saving one on the offside and sent the captain Ian Martin down to fine leg. And it's so often that happens, exactly where Ian Martin was stood there. They've just knocked a single straight into the offside. So, cricket is a cruel game at times.
It's a cruel game. It looked like it was a good ball. He took the pace off of it a bit. Batsmen seemed to like the ball coming a bit harder onto the bat. So it was clever bowling, but they still managed to pick up some runs.
Have you captained many games in LMS, Bjorn?
I've captained a fair amount, and I'm happy to say that we don't have stats yet on how many games you've captained and won, because I don't think my return rate's too healthy.
The only reason I ask is that obviously on a Saturday the captain may be stationed at mid-off or slip, close to the bowlers, be able to manage his troops well. Is there a particular fielding position which maybe lends its hand to to captain an LMS game?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think for me, I like to stand at mid-off, deep mid-off. It's about as close as you can get to the bowler, and then you just need a keeper that's on top of his game to shout, and get the fielders that are behind the stumps in line in the right positions. You really got to work as a unit. It is tricky to be a captain, especially if you've got a defensive mindset and you've got everyone on the ropes first up, and that third man in fine legs vital in LMS to get them in the right area. So you need a sharp keeper who's reading the game well.
Well, we saw it early on that Singapore had a few overs with a slip in. They also had a backward point in for an over or two as well, just to try and obviously find a dot ball. If the bowler bowls a good ball, you want to be able to maybe put a few dots on the board. And Darren's just done that. He's got the man in at short cover, Captain Ian Martin.
Taking the power play. It's good thinking by the skipper, and I like this field that he's got. He's just obviously got to be careful he doesn't stray down the leg side. But it's a good attacking field this, and making the fine leg run to his work there. That's Gareth. That's Tom. It's really...
To be fair, I'm surprised he's still running after his little stint as last man standing in the first innings.
A big smile on his face, so he's happy with his performance today.
Darren's really settled into his work here. He's smashing back of a length, making it very, very difficult for the Singapore batsman.
Score is 14. Got just one ball left in this over. That's a great ball. the run rate, the required run rate, just creeping up now, just under 8 and over required to win the game. And Singapore really need to get back on ball, push the ones and twos, and just knock away at the targets here. And these dot balls aren't doing them any favours, Lee.
All I'd say is obviously Wales have chose to come from the Ronfleet end to start with, downwind. It's a little bit longer straight that way, so if I was Singapore, as long as I've got wickets in hand, I'd be happy with maybe 60, 65 off this first 10, knowing that you'll be coming to the shorter leg side boundary and downwind second half. Darren's started really well there, wind behind him, he's coming through at a really good pace.
The wind has just picked up a little bit. I know when we had our world champs in Cape Town, the wind really played a factor, and the guys that could read that well as a fielding team and bowl the right bowlers into the wind and with the wind made a huge difference. So I think it could be a factor here as well.
Well, the skipper's brought himself on, Ian Martin, and straight away coming round the wicket to the left-hander, trying to dart the ball in and just seeing if he can get a bit of purchase. I think it's a nice tactic, and you can see straight away he's looking to go into the wicket, not trying to get overly full. And with the wind, bowling with the wind as a spinner as well, it does give you the opportunity to maybe just give it a fraction more flight, as the batsmen have got to get full contact on to try and clear the long on and long off boundary.
Any miscue from the batsmen, they're going to be snapped up at the long on, long off boundaries. I don't think this lad's going to be going too attacking here. Well bowled. Another dot ball. Dot balls adding up. The last 10 balls we've had 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dot balls out of the last 10. So Singapore need to watch that, Lee.
Well, that was a miscue. That was the pressure there. It's come down to third man. He managed to get back for 2. He's really started well here, the captain here, Martin. He's put them under a lot of pressure, marshalling his troops well. And I think Wales, as the innings go on, will be learning all about the game and adapting. Like we mentioned earlier on, they've stepped in at relatively late notice for the Bangladesh side, who I'm sure we would have loved to have been here, but it's great to see the Welsh lads out here. And like I said, they're going to benefit from every over out here, learning and adapting as a group. And
fantastic to see the Welsh boys here, and really excited to see them play, and been really impressed so far with the lads.
So with that being the end of the power play, we've now got to go to 3 fielders on each side. Just a gentle reminder from the umpire there for the captain. So he's feel for him, Martin, there. He's just got to trudge down the 80 yards down towards fine leg before he'll probably bowl the next over as well. But Darren Leach is going to charge in again.
Another dot ball, well bowled.
I feel like the Singapore batsmen are just finding it difficult to adapt to the length and almost the pace of what, I'd hate to say that because he'll probably listen to this later on, Darren, but he just seems to be beating them a little bit for pace here.
I think his lines, they're used to the ball being bowled a bit straighter at them. You can see they're very good on their legs, and he's bowling a nice line outside off there. He straightened a bit, and batsman was able to work it away. But when he pitches it outside off, they're really battling with that line. So I think they need to use their feet a bit more outside off, or change their guard, work on a plan to get bat on ball when he's bowling that line outside off.
Well, you look at this third man area here. You spoke about third man and fine leg being a key area. Literally, if he's bowling a foot outside the off stump, surely they just try and lean on it. Ever since we spoke about him bowling a good line outside the off stump, he's bowled 2 balls into the pads.
And then that's what they're looking for. So maybe they've changed their guard a bit, and he's gone for the LBW, but that's not where he wants to be bowling, that's for sure. They'll eat that for breakfast.
That's a mindset for Darren, though. He's an aggressive bowler. He wants to be looking to take wickets.
Fancy footwork. Good fielding there.
I think many of the Brazilians would have been happy with that footwork there.
I think Neymar would still be rolling around on the floor there. Tom Williams in the action again. We're going to see a lot of him this tournament.
That was a slow ball from Darren there. He's just rolled his fingers across the ball. It's gone out to deep mid-wicket, and they've got 2 more.
Lee, did you watch a bit of the football?
I did. Very much enjoyed it. You know, I was one of those guys who believed that football was going to be coming home. We had about 2,000 people down here at the ground on the big screen watching that, and you know, I'll be honest with you, I was as heartbroken as the rest of them, but I do believe the best team won, and judging by that bit of fielding, obviously it's rubbed off on a few of the cricketers.
Playing a bit of football. That was a great World Cup. I think England did extremely well. The boys can be proud. A lot of support from the South African fans.
Even in the space of 1 or 2 days, seeing so many countries come together at this event, you can see, you know, how fantastic it is when sport brings people together from all around the world, and you know, seeing people integrate and speak to each other and enjoy each other's company. It's just fantastic.
Tom Williams in the action again. Tidies up.
I'm not sure they've quite come up with a strategy to Ian Martin here. He's obviously bowling from quite high, you know, he's well over 6 foot. Just getting a little bit of dip here. They've gone to the sweep a couple of times.
Good shout. He's given him.
It certainly wasn't going over that one, Bjorn.
I think that's a good decision. Have a look at the replay now, Lee. But I think that was... Just tossed it up nicely. Oh, it's an easy decision for the umpire. I thought it might have drifted in the air a bit. He'll be very happy with that delivery. Confused the batsman there with the flight.
We'd spoken about the wind, and obviously spin bowlers, you know, do love to use the drift, and it looks like Ian's landed that perfectly, and that was a straightforward decision for the umpire.
Very straightforward. That was wily bowling from the experienced campaigner Ian. You can see he's played a lot of cricket before. Just took the pace off that one, tossed it up. And Singapore in a bit of trouble here. Just looking at the required run rate, it's gone up to 8.36. They're going at just 5 and over. It's 122 runs required from 73 balls. And 2 wickets down.
It's brought the captain to the crease. Speaking to a couple of their players at half time. Obviously we saw in the first innings, got 3 wickets, fielded very well. Manpreet Singh, but they think he's one of their better prospects with the bat as well, so it's fair to say a massive job for the skipper here.
Manpreet's obviously a very talented guy to be able to take that kind of catch and bowl as well as he did, so interesting to see how he bats here. Should be fun.
So captain to captain here as Ian Martin continues.
Really good bowling this from Ian. Pushes that one a bit quicker to the new batsman. It's good thinking.
Almost mirrored each other's starts here. You know, Singapore having such an advantage, maybe letting Wales back into the middle overs and then clawing it back at the end, and then, you know, Wales have stole the ascendancy back here.
And Singapore batsmen actually need to take a leaf out of the two Toms playbook there and just really build an innings here, run hard between the wickets, turn the ones into twos, test the fielders, punch the ball in the gaps, keep it on the ground and just steady the ship. They don't need to panic here. They just need to build an innings, and that should see them home. But 1 or 2 more wickets, and they'll be in trouble. But
Shankar, the left-arm batsman for Singapore, just getting himself in a little bit of bother to Ian Martin there. Ian's using the full width of the crease there, getting very wide on it. Just firing it into middle and leg, hoping it straightens. And he's just closing himself off a fraction at the moment, which, you know, he's ruling out some shots into the leg side. I'm sure as the innings goes on, you know, he'll settle in and be able to access that leg side a little bit better. But, you know, Ian Martin's seen that and he's really arrowing in on that area. So it's been a intriguing start to the Singapore innings.
they seem like they've battled with the pace of the wicket. Still adjusting to the conditions here in beautiful sunny Chester. That's better. They should be running here looking for 2.
Now, we spoke about this in the first innings about ensuring that the right people are in the right places. Now, the skipper's just bowled a fantastic over and he's now stationed himself in what I'd arguably say is the most exposed part of the ground. It slopes away there and it's a massive area to cover, so Singapore straight away, there we go, out into the leg side.
You're running hard again here. Great running.
It is fantastic running. Wales have got to, you know, wisen up very, very quickly here, you know, and you can see the conversations are happening straight away. The skipper's asking him to, you know, almost cheat a fraction and just come off that boundary, you know, say, well, if he hits it over your head, then it's a good shot, you know, to knock off that 2. And there they go again, out towards the skipper.
Batsman getting a bit tired there. I think I would have liked them to take a 2 there. It really would have flashed Wales if they had taken a second there. Not sure why they didn't push a bit harder.
Well, I think the captain Manpreet realised quite quickly that that Martin's been utilising the underarm throw from the long off boundary there, so he definitely fancied the 2, but Shankar didn't really pick up on that, so he was quite happy to settle for the single. But straight away, you know, just a couple of more positive bits of running, and you can feel that, you know, the Singapore scoreboard moving on a little bit more comfortably.
Just settles you down as a batting partnership when you...
Wow. Well, this... I was about to say a couple of moments ago, the difference so far is that Wales have really minimised the amount of extras that they've bowled, because that's one thing that the Singapore opening bowlers were very threatening, but they obviously went for quite wide channels, try and generate some snicks, but, you know, did bowl a few wides in the process. Wales have minimised that, and there's just so little margin for error. You know, the keeper's up, Gareth Williams, and you know, you certainly don't want the ball being sprayed around.
No, it just lets the batting team back into the game, especially when you've got them under the cush. Score now 37 for 2 after 7 overs. Required run rates up to 8.6. It's 112 runs from 65 balls. Pick of the bowler so far is Darren Leach. He's gone for just the 12 runs off his 3 overs.
Right, that's a fantastic shot from Shankar. He's just opened his body up and punched it over extra cover. Just what we were speaking about a moment ago, though, the captain had got the fielder just to come 10 yards off that boundary down towards the canal to ensure there wasn't a second run, and he's been caught out. There is no worse a feeling as a fielder as when, in theory, the rest of the fielders think you're on the boundary, but you're actually 10 off, and then it bounces for a 4 over your head.
It's a tricky one because it is a long boundary and they were running the 1s and 2s hard, so that's created by the batsman's effort in the middle there. Oh, he didn't need to do that. Oh, bowled.
again, that was that line, that Midland leg line. You can see that Shankar was desperate to try and work the ball into the offside. He opened himself out, and the Welsh bowlers had just, you know, tailed into Midland leg, cramped him up for room, and got the wicket. David Hughes there on the board.
They'll be happy with that comeback.
Definitely, for me, you know, the Welsh seem to be pulling momentum back here, and you know, I think Singapore are going to have to do some serious rebuilding work in these next 5 overs to give themselves any real shot of getting over the line here.
Just started to find his feet there, Shankar, and got out at the wrong moment. That's when Tom Blackwell actually just kicked on in his innings, and Singapore now 41 for 3. If you're a betting man, you put down a few quid on Wales winning this one. Still early days though. Bhargav into bat. Need to run hard again. Easy 2.
See, Bjorn, I just think for 2 or 3 overs here that, you know, especially with the off spinner on, you know, there should be a comfortable, you know, 5, 6, 7 and over, just working that into the leg side. Low risk cricket. You know, said about maybe trying to get to 60, 65 at halfway, and then come downwind into the second 10 overs.
Exactly right there, Lee. They don't need to play risky, flashy cricket here. They just need to do the basics right, run hard, hit it in the gaps on the ground, and the runs will come. You pick up 7 and over, and you're right there in the game.
Just noticed quite a shift change. Obviously, talking about Wales adapting to the game. They've got some of the lads who have probably got a little bit more pace. They've very quickly been moved across over to the bigger boundary, and some of the guys who are maybe not as quick in a straight line have been sent over to the shorter boundary here.
It's good thinking by the captain, Ian. See, he's still
Scott,
at
can you check if there's people like shaking my scaffold?
long off, marshalling the troops. And later on this evening, we're going to have a prize for Play of the Day, Lee. I think the skipper of Singapore must be in contention for that. Got a few other prizes for the best batsman and the best bowler.
They're going to push here. See, even though they didn't take the second run there, just the intent is just the right thing to do. Make sure that the fielders are having to work every ball into the outfield. Oh, that's cruel. Strong swing of the bat there from the captain, Manpreet. No slip in place at this stage of the innings, and that has raced away.
Welcome boundary for Singapore. That's their 50 up. Big outside edge. 4 runs in the scorebook, Lee. You won't mind too much about that.
Just with at this particular stage, you know, with the keeper up, you know, is that the line that you'd be? Oh no! Well, all of a sudden, in the space of a couple of balls there and 2 boundaries, Singapore have just started to kick on. Bargaff with a lovely shot into the leg side, just got on top of it, just rolled his wrists just to get it a little bit wider or long on, put the fielder under pressure, and that was, you know, quite a bad misfield there. It's amazing how often this happens, though. You know, a streaky edge down to third man, followed up by a misfield, and then a wide, and then all of a sudden, you know, there's 10, 11 runs in absolutely no time. You look at the scoreboard and they're on 57. The pressure's got to the bowler here, whether it's, you know, he's frustrated by, obviously, you know, the batsman getting away with an edge, or then all of a sudden that misfield down there. But that, you know, that's put Singapore in a much healthier position, and the run rate's dropped, which was up at 9, you know, in the space of 1 over, you know, quite a manageable 8.
Swings quickly this game of cricket. Gareth Evans there, he's bowled the 2 overs for 24 runs.
So if you're captain Ian Martin now, obviously Darren Leach has bowled 3 overs for 12, and he's bowled 2 overs for 6. You know, would this be a time now where obviously Manpreet and Boughton have started really well here? Would you maybe bring one of those guys back on in search of breaking this partnership?
That's definitely an option I'd look at. The wickets, it's a tricky one because he hasn't played a lot with all his teammates, Ian. But it's, I think Darren, I think you want to maybe save him one for the end, but it might be worth bringing himself back on to bowl now to pick up another wicket, because he was looking really, really useful.
I'm very much enjoying watching this Manpreet Singh play at the moment. His footwork so far has been outstanding, and he's really starting to give the Welsh team a bit of the run round here. He's getting inside the ball beautifully, and he spotted a gap at extra cover, hitting a boundary in a 3 already in this over. Makes it very, very difficult for the opposition captain. Obviously he's got it set at 3-3, which is required at this stage, but you know, when a player starts moving his feet as he is and running between the wickets like they are, all of a sudden you know, the run rate's just coming down all the time.
More good running there from the batsman. This time it's Barkov. He's on 21 off just 11 balls. 2 fours, got a strike rate of 190. Last ball of the over.
Just in the background of the shot now, you can see the Sri Lankans have actually just come down for a bit of a practice. Again, all these teams preparing for their first game of the competition today, and I'd imagine there's some nerves and some excitement amongst the opposition players. I'd certainly like to be one of these 2 teams. I'd like to get my first game out of the way, settle the nerves. But obviously for a lot of the other sides as well, you know, I'm sure some of the captains and the coaches will be having a good look at some of the tactics that are employed, and hopefully taking that into their game this afternoon.
Definitely nice to get the first couple of games out the way early. If I was the player, I'd definitely be here watching the opposition to see who the players to watch out for, stealing a few tips from the players that have done well. So 10 overs up at 70 runs for just the 3 wickets. I mentioned earlier, Lee, that we've got a few awards to give out. We've just thanks to our sponsors, BAS, who've got some co-branded BAS, LMS cricket pads and cricket bats to give away to the player of the day. So on Facebook, let us know who you think's deserved winner for player of the day, batter of the day, and bowler of the day. Facebook.com/lastmanstands. You can just send us your comments. Let us know who you think's deserved. At the moment, for me, player of the day, still the skipper from Singapore, Manpreet Singh, but a lot of cricket to be played today.
So like we mentioned, the bowlers now are going to be coming into quite a strong breeze now for these second 10 overs. Just speared in by Tom Blackwell there. And, you know, these two batsmen here, Bhargav and the captain, clearly very comfortable at running between the wickets, and they've turned a lot of singles into twos here in the last 5-10 minutes. Just walking past us in front of us at the moment, Bjorn's the Australian side. And
seen Marcus North there, and he gave a wonderful talk last night to the players who thoroughly enjoyed his Q&A. Really nice guy, good to have around. Australians lucky to have him in their squad. The Aussies need to do a bit of gym, they're looking a bit skinny there. Really is going to be a cracking week of cricket. A lot of fun. A lot of banter between the teams. Good camaraderie. Halfway mark here for the Singapore team, Lee. Who's your money on at the moment? Can they take it home for their team, these two batsmen?
I'd probably say at the moment I'd probably prefer to be Singapore. They've probably lost maybe one wicket more than I would have liked, but I genuinely believe that you know, Wales have probably used, you know, most of their bowling up top. You know, obviously Darren's only got 1 over left, and the captain Ian Martin's got 2 overs left. But I do think if these guys can manoeuvre the ball around for the next 5 overs, it'll put them in a very strong position. Ideally, you know, they need to get at least one of these guys retired, just to give them that extra option.
Yeah, for Singapore, I think the key is Manpreet to get to his 50. If he can do that, then they'll have a very good chance of winning this game. Wales missed a trick not bowling in out his full 4 overs from the other end. He's going to be bowling into the wind this side, and it's going to be a bit easier to hit with the wind. That's a great shot.
And that there, Bjorn, is exactly what we've been trying to get at. That was nothing more than a well-timed punch down the ground, and that has smashed into the side screen.
Cameraman got a bit nervous there as it's headed towards him. Let's have a look at the replay here, Lee. Great balance. He's just punched that, hasn't he?
Head was in a beautiful position there. His hands have come through, you know, and a check shot down the ground.
Lovely camera work by QTV. Well done, guys.
And all of a sudden, after, you know, in the space of 3 overs, being behind the run rate, they've got ahead of the run rate here, and, you know, far more manageable for the Singapore side. And I know that the captain will be scratching his head a little bit now, thinking, you know, they definitely need a wicket.
In particular, they need to get out Manpreet Singh. Really is a classy batsman, isn't he? Using the feet again there.
Quite an interesting tactic, this, from the bowler. It's something that came into one-day cricket, bowling the off-spin around the wicket, try and close off the offside. It's very difficult, obviously, with the rules being 3 and 3. You may look to ideally have a man over from the offside onto the leg side, but, you know, all I'd say is that Wales at this precise moment, you know, desperately need a wicket, and, you know, he's going relatively negatively into the pads. I'd probably like to see him come over the wicket for a few balls, see if he can get a little bit of purchase, come through the gate. But they obviously think they need to stem the run flow just for a couple of overs, because obviously it's been an expensive last few.
Batsman happy just to chip away, run the 1s and 2s, which is exactly what they need to do. Oh, a direct hit there would have been gone. It's a good effort. That's Tom Blackwell. The field there wasn't far away from the stumps.
And just very quietly, Bhargav is 34 off 18 balls, and he really has batted beautifully.
that's the problem, going around the wicket, slightly off your line, and it's just a free hit on the leg side for the batsman. Just flick that away.
He's just played that fractionally out in front of his body, just getting it behind square there, taking that fielder out of play. It's a fantastic effort out on the boundary, but and see, that is the problem there. There's a boundary and then an easy single into the leg side, and you look up and another over passes, and another very comfortable over for Singapore.
Really good batting by Bhargav there. It's 39 of just 20 balls. Definitely a swing and momentum here in favour of Singapore. Last 10 balls gone 1-1. Wicket dot 6-2-1-4. So some good batting there. Good momentum from Singapore. And I'm going to take a short break and hand over to the Singapore franchise owner, Kunal, who will be joining Lee Dixon.
Very good morning to you, Kunal.
Good morning, Lee.
Beautiful conditions. Beautiful conditions here at Chester. You boys must be loving being out there with the first game of the day.
Yeah, of course, beautiful conditions here, good weather for cricket, and beautiful ground as well.
So when did you guys from Singapore land into the country?
We came yesterday on Saturday morning.
So quick touchdown, bags in, and then down to the ground, was it?
Yeah, we had a training session as well yesterday evening. Oh, that was close.
It was very, very good work from the keeper of Wales there. The running from your boys in the last 5 overs has been very, very good.
Yeah, they have taken a lot of ones and twos, especially they converted ones into twos.
These two look very accomplished batsmen. They've moved their feet very well against the slow bowling.
Yeah, they are the main batsmen of the team. Bhargav, Manpreet, the skipper. Beautiful drive to the offside, just for a single.
So I'd imagine you guys would be happy for this sort of partnership, just to continue them moving the ball around with the odd boundary for a few more overs.
Yeah, of course. Seems like Bhargav will complete his 50 soon. He's on 42 of 33. Then I think one of them should stay, because once you retire, then new batsmen come in. So at least one settled batsman should be there. So Manpreet is doing a good job here with settling down, and Bhargav is a bit more attacking.
Just rotating the strike again, Bhargav just running it down to third man for a single. This is Tom Blackwell, who obviously scored a very fine 50 in the first innings.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of bowling, he didn't do much. He's not so affected, but in terms of batting, really well. Yeah.
The captain Ian Martin, who's bowled 2 overs for 6, is returning now. He bowled very well to your left-hander earlier on. He cramped him up for room. Be interesting to see with this wind coming down towards us here, whether Manpreet and Bhargav continue to use their feet.
Yeah. With his bowling action, seems like he's going to bowl slow, but suddenly he has good, flat deliveries, ball bit quicker in the air.
Yeah, he got a wicket at LBW earlier in the innings where the ball just came on a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if your boys kind of look at Ian Martin as someone who's had success earlier in the innings and maybe are happy to see him off and target some of the other bowlers who've been less economical.
Yeah, well bowled, and he has a good, loop in the air as well. So he mixes it up. Sometimes he's slow, sometimes he bowls flatter as well. Not so easy to hit him.
We've just seen there from Manpreet, he's just tried to get under the ball there, and it wasn't quite there, and he's managed to knock it down to this long on boundary for a single.
Yep.
But I really do think at the moment Singapore just need to keep ticking along on what they're doing.
Oh, that's a big hit, and I think it's a 6. Yeah.
What do I know? Hey, Kunal. What a fabulous shot that was.
Yeah.
He's just skipped down the wicket and flicked his wrists, and that's gone over deep mid-wicket. What a fantastic shot that was.
I think he knows now he needs to speed up a bit of his game because only 30 balls left in the game. Yeah. From here, I think definitely seems like Singapore. But anything can happen in cricket. A couple of wickets from here can take the game away from Singapore. But yeah, if Manpreet stays there, because anyways Bhargav is going to retire soon if he completes his 50.
I do genuinely think as the games go on today, we will see more and more boundaries and sixes as people adapt to the conditions. And I know a lot of people are looking forward to the Pakistan-India game later today.
Yeah, and as well as I think Australia versus Sri Lanka game.
Oh, well,
That's a boundary.
it's a boundary. It's a pretty woeful piece of fielding out on the deep cover boundary. Darren Leach has just got the wrong side of the ball there and gone with his foot by the looks of it. He looks absolutely disgusted with himself. He won't want to watch that back on Facebook Live later.
Yeah. Harkirat is a new batsman in. I'm a bit surprised with LMS Wales. Like Tom Blackwell was a bit expensive and they continued with him. Yeah.
Well, that's Bargaff, retired on 50 off 29 balls. Getting a very rich round of applause as he just raises his bat in front of the pavilion, which is filling up nicely here at Chester. I'd imagine you guys at Singapore saw this as a fixture which was a good potential start for you to your campaign.
Yeah, of course. I mean, especially for the players coming here and play good level of cricket on turf, it's fantastic opportunity for them, as well as back in Singapore for local teams to join in at LMS, because they give opportunities for these kind of international events, because in Singapore we mostly play on AstroTurf, so it's going to be a really good opportunity for upcoming players and for these players as well. Yeah.
So, have all your players travelled over from Singapore?
Yeah, all are based in Singapore. Yeah.
And do any have any cricket experience anywhere else in the world, or is this the first time overseas for all of them?
No, two teams travelled to Cape Town last year for the World Champs, Marina Cricket Club and Singapore United Cricket Club. And one of the teams also travelled to Kuala Lumpur for Malaysian Open last year, as well as Spanish Open to Spain. Yeah.
So, as a franchise owner, are you well involved in making sure these teams attend these events, or?
Yeah, of course we do a lot of hard work on the back end, to prepare the teams and develop cricket in Singapore. And myself as well, I run the club Singapore United, and I play as well there. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about Singapore United. Is that I'd imagine it's something very close to your heart.
Yeah, of course. We did a lot of hard work to develop SG United. Yeah, in terms of developing, we do have juniors teams as well, and they play in the 11-a-side as well as LMS tournaments. So we have a member 50 odd junior members, and then another 50 senior members. Yeah.
That's fantastic. You must be absolutely delighted with that.
Yeah.
Just looking at the scoreboard now, 113 for 3 here. Singapore still just ticking along nicely.
Oh, that's a beautiful shot. Straight down to the ground for a 6 by captain Manpreet Singh.
Some of his footwork so far in this game has been absolutely outstanding, Kunal.
Yeah, is very technically sound in terms of batting, as well as you have seen earlier this day in terms of his bowling as well as fielding. He's quite quick.
Well, he's putting himself in a nice spot to be in the mixer for player of the day at the moment.
Yeah, of course. My vote is for Manpreet Singh at the moment. Yeah.
I think that's a solid choice from the Singapore franchise manager, Kunal, going for his own captain for player of the day. But at the moment, he's been the absolute standout performer in this match. And with about 5 overs left here, Singapore looking a very, very commanding position. Ian Martin's going to bowl himself out here. He realises it really is stick or twist now.
Yeah. Quick single there.
I'd like to see Wales maybe bring maybe one fielder in to try and get a couple of dot balls, because I really don't think by just waiting for a mistake it's going to work at the moment. I think there's got to be a thought process to how we're going to take a wicket.
Yeah, of course, I 100% agree with you. They are too defensive at the moment, because looking at the scorecard easily with single double, LMS Singapore will win this game quite easily with single doubles. So a couple of players in the circle could change the game. Yeah.
Well, realistically, the only way that Singapore should what a great shot that is.
Another one, and I think one bounce into the ropes.
Again, me and Bjorn were talking about the first half, obviously hitting downwind here. That really was just a little punch down the ground. Lovely feet, one bounce into the side screen.
Yeah.
You know, he's played 2 shots in the last couple of overs where straight as a die down the ground, his head's in a beautiful position.
Yep. Well bowled. But good cricket by Manpreet Singh after boundaries single to rotate the strike.
So who's your next game against Canal?
We are playing tomorrow. I just need to check.
Sorry to put you on the spot there. Right, the ball's gone high into the air here, out deep mid wicket.
Oh, that's 6.
That was a slight misjudgment there. The fielder thought he was underneath it, and he just stepped in a fraction from the boundary rope. David Hughes. Small cry of anguish as that just dropped over his head. Ian Martin tossed it up.
We are facing South Africa tomorrow at the Oval 2, 12:45 p.m.
Had the pleasure of playing against South Africa on Friday in a warm-up game, Canal. They look like a very solid outfit,
Yeah.
very strong in the field.
Yeah, of course, they're a tough side, and I think one of the best sides in this World Series. And we have faced their club's team in World Champs, and they were really difficult sides to play against. Yeah. But in LMS format, anything can happen. Even
Definitely so. And watching you guys in the field before, I thought the 2 opening bowlers really looked like that they were causing the batsmen problems. Got some early wickets, and the quality of fielding. You must be absolutely delighted with the way your boys fielded.
Yeah, of course, feeling a bit proud because it's a good opportunity, as I mentioned, for the team and the boys to travel here and play in this fantastic event. And performing here, it's a bonus, That's a big hit.
I'm very, very thankful for our commentary position having a roof there, Canal, because we were in real trouble there. as the ball sailed on top of our position here.
Yeah.
Tom Williams being brought into the attack here. Obviously Ian Martin sensing maybe that it's not going to be Wales' day today, and having a good look at all his bowlers for the rest of the tournament. Curtie's come in. I was really impressed with his bowling in the first half. I thought he did a very solid job.
Yeah.
Quicker through the air than you think.
Yes, quicker through the air, as you mentioned, and as well as good fielder. You can see he took a couple of brilliant catches. And in terms of batting also, he can score quick runs. He has ability to hit big sixes. That's why he's batting a bit lower down the order. We keep one player, to support the team if we need quick runs.
So what's the plan for the rest of your day, Canal? Because I'm sensing that you must feel quite confident with only 6 or 7 more runs needed from this position that you're going to get over the line. What's the plan for the Singapore players today? You're going to take in some more of the games today?
We are planning to watch the very next game, Australia versus Sri Lanka, because that's our group game. So, captain and coach can make some strategy to play against them. So players are very serious about their game. Their first priority is definitely cricket, so they're going to watch the game, and after that they'll be going out for lunch and relaxing in the hotel, and prepare themselves for tomorrow's game. Maybe there will be net session in the evening.
So Darren Leach, who bowled quite an impressive first spell, 3 overs 1 for 12, is being brought back into the attack here. I think he'd have to probably come up with the best over of his life here to avoid a defeat for Wales.
Oh, straight. Really good shot. Harkirat Singh, quite quick. 10 balls, 22 runs.
And that just takes the pressure off Manpreet Singh as well. The fact that Curtie's just come in and got straight to his work also means as well that his captain's been able to see the job through without having to retire.
Yeah, of course. I mean, otherwise it takes a lot of pressure on one player if the job is done by only one player. If you see the scorecards, like Manpreet definitely bowled well in the field also. He was quite energetic and agile. He took a couple of catches, and in terms of batting as well. So it's really good. A couple of players supported him. Yeah.
See, my frustration here is obviously Darren's just dot ball and he's just beaten the batter. I really would have liked to have seen Ian Martin bring him back maybe 3-4 overs ago when Manpreet and Bhargat first came in. Cause I really think that was the opportunity for Wales to maybe try and get that one more wicket and open up an end.
Yeah, of course, we think the same. And that's the easy victory now for LMS Singapore during their opening game against Wales to the boundary.
So as the players shake hands here, it's been a very impressive start from LMS Singapore. Captain Manpreet Singh finishing 43 not out, Curtie with 26 not out, and finishing 151 for 3 with a couple of overs to spare. It's been a fantastic start to the tournament here. I'm sure the lads in Singapore are going to enjoy their lunch out in Chester today with a victory under their belt.
Of course, and it's a good confidence booster for the guys to have a victory in their very first game against Wales. So it's a good start for them. Yeah, really proud of them. Yeah.
Well, Canal, congratulations, and I'm sure we'll be speaking to you more throughout the week. And we're going to just see the lads wander off now, but enjoy your day, and we'll see you then.
Yeah, thanks, Lee. Looking forward.
So LMS Singapore were victorious there in that first game. I can honestly say, Bjorn, the sun's come out here. There is not a cloud in the sky. There is no better place to be today around Chester than being able to come down and catch some of this LMS World Cup.
It's fantastic setting here. Groundsman doing a little bit of a touch-up work, and the next game's going to be starting in 20 minutes, but we're going to have an interview shortly with Nick Compton, who was our guest of honor last night at the opening dinner, and he's a great guy. Was full of wits and humor, and players thoroughly enjoyed him. And what a chance now for the captains to be interviewed by legend of the game, Nick Compton. It's the grandson of the famous Dennis Compton. Man of the match, I think, is going to go to either Bhargav or Manpreet Singh for their little knock there. Nice cameo at the end by Harkurat Singh, 26 of 13.
It just gives us a little insight, Bjorn, into the fact that you know, Singapore do have that little bit of extra firepower down the order. You know, Bhargav and Manpreet Singh showed what quality players they really are in those middle overs. Moved the feet beautifully, hit a few really strong shots down the ground. But Curty came in and just showed that, you know, given the opportunity, he can hit a few big bombs. And
it's a good, very good middle order. I might be tempted, if I was Manpreet, to move myself up the order there. I think he could be a useful opener and balance the batting lineup a bit if he was opening up there. But see what happens as this tournament goes, if they play around with their batting order.
Talking about Nick Compton, obviously one of the guests of honours last night. He was fantastic with some of the junior players from our club last night. They were really enjoying listening to him. I know a couple of them even managed to get him to play a little game of one-on-one bounce in the changing room as well, which was a fantastic experience for them. Marcus North came down as well, and you know, really is a fantastic opportunity for the players from some of these franchises to spend time with, you know, guys who played at the very highest level.
I think we're going to switch over to Nick Compton for an interview, post-match interview with the players.
Well, that was a great finish to the first game of the Last Man Stands World Series. We've got the losing captain, unfortunately, from Wales, Ian. Ian, a tough first game for you.
Yeah, steep learning curve, definitely. Yeah. After the start, we had a brilliant catch out in the deep. What were we? 15 for 3, and looked up against it. So we did really well to get to the top we did. In the end, it's proved 20-30 runs too short. But yeah, we battled hard in the field. Took a couple of wickets we thought we were in the driving seat after 8 overs, and the 2 lads in the middle batted really well and killed the game off.
What are the conditions like? Obviously, we're all kind of eagerly anticipating the next week. Was it a good wicket?
It is, yeah. I actually play cricket here as well. It turns here. There's a bit of turn bit in it for the seamer. Good to bat on. Right. Big field as well. So yeah, with only 8 men, it's tough to defend.
No, absolutely. But lots of games to come next. And any changes you're going to make for the next one? Any tactical changes?
I have not think about the tactical changes. Maybe 1 or 2 bowlers. We've got a good player coming in from us, ex-Glamorgan player Dion Holden. He's coming in tomorrow, so he'll make us stronger. But yeah, tactics-wise, not sure. No.
Okay, thanks, Ian. Very good, mate. And let's get in the winning captain from Singapore, Manpreet. Well done, mate. Congratulations. Good start to the tournament.
Yeah, actually, I mean, first of all, I want to thanks to us Last Man Stands. There are a lot of fantastic facilities in England. Yeah, a lot of good wickets and nice atmosphere. Yeah. So coming on the game, it was a really good game. Yeah. I mean, they played really well. I mean, we got a few wickets in early overs, but after 6 overs, we just a lack of fielding. I mean, the bowlers as well. So after that, I mean, in the end, we caught up again. So we got up good wickets in the end. So I think we sixed them to 148. It chased the score. Yeah, we chased easily in the 18th over.
Okay.
Yeah, guys played really well.
And you bowled well. You led from the front.
Yeah, I mean, I got my over in the last because main bowler I finished early because he was bowling really good in the. He had a good swing in the first 4 overs. Yeah, so I just gave him bowling in the first overs.
And tell us a bit about your young Singapore team. You got some good players.
Yeah, a lot of good players actually. I mean, through Harkirat Singh and Bhargav and Raghav, they played really well. Like in the critical situation, they took us single doubles. That's the game we can have here. So yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks, Manpreet. Well played. That concludes the first game from the World Series. Singapore beating Wales quite comfortably in the end. Look forward to the next game.